Hey guys, what is up? Welcome to Show It Better. My name is Steven, and in today's video, we're going to see how to create this urban animated diagram using Google Earth, After Effects, and a little bit of Photoshop. So let's start. Okay, so I want to thank Skillshare for sponsoring this video, and this video comes in a time where we are all in online classes, where we can't go to our classrooms, we can't, live the life that we used to live right now. And what we have to do right now is adapt and make the best out of it. I hope you guys are all safe in your houses, but I hope that your presentations, your online presentations with your teachers, with your students, also get much more creative. What we're going to do in this video is I'm going to take a normal diagram that we would do for a site, for an urban site analysis, and we're going to animate it, right? It's going to have a little bit more of the complexity of our normal videos, but the result is going to be much better. Now, this process took around 3 hours to make. I'm still not an expert in After Effects. I'm trying to resume it in about 15 minutes. But if you want to see the whole 3-hour video and have access to the files, you can go to my Patreon page and have access to all the files. So let's start and see how to create this urban diagram.
Okay, everyone, so we are going to first go into Google Earth and save the image that we want, right? So this is the image I already saved, and I already saved it because it was a big image that I patched up, and so it could be in a better resolution. But you can do it with a low resolution image if you want. There is no problem. So here is my high resolution image. The next thing that we're going to do is I'm going to create a new file, new, and I'm going to select a 19 by 20 preset. I'm going to go and click on create. The next thing that we're going to do is I'm going to go to Google and look for Add Cinemetric Grid, but since I already downloaded it, I am going to go over here and import it, drag it into my Photoshop file. As you guys can see, I'm just going to align it right here, make it just a little bit bigger. Now I'm going to go to my Google Earth images and import my image. And now what I'm going to do is I am going to set it to the perspective grid that is right here. So I'm going to do that by pressing Control on my keyboard, and I'm going to have these white arrows, and I'm just going to set it right here and start adjusting it. So now what I'm going to do is I am going to create a mask that we're going to use later in After Effects. So I'm going to create a new layer, and if I turn the opacity down in my Google Earth layer, then I can select about 2 or 3 squares that I can barely see, and with those squares selected with the lasso tool, I'm going to turn them red. And now we're going to open Premiere Pro. I'm going to go to new project. I'm going to select the folder. Now I'm going to go to sequence, file, new sequence. This is digital SLR 1080p 25 frames, perfect, and press OK. Now I'm going to go over here where it says project, right click, new item, color matte. This is the way I do it. Maybe there's a better way, and I'm going to click on base After Effects, and I'm going to drag this over here. And my animation is going to be around, I think, 30 seconds. Now I'm going to go and right click and click on replace with After Effects composition. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go with my PSD file is, and I'm going to drag it into my Photoshop file, into my After Effects file. And here I am going to select editable layer styles, composition. Okay, and we're going to double click on top of this image. Now if we checked our PSD file, we had a layer mask. So if we disable this layer mask and click on save, you can go over here and it's going to be updated automatically. So we're going to right click and click on pre-compose. What this does, it creates a folder within a folder, and it makes everything that I edit inside that folder like independent from the outside. So I'm going to click on base earth image. Now on top, by having this selected, I am going to go alpha matte, track layer 1, perfect. Now we're going to change the position. It's going to be more or less like this. The scale, we can change it as well. So as you guys can see here, we have our base image. Now what we're going to do is we're going to add a layer of analysis. So I'm going to analyze, like I'm going to select the area of the airport right here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go inside this airport, click here on pen tool, and just start selecting the area that the airport occupies. So it's going to be more or less like this. Now we're going to animate this stroke. We're going to go over here where it says content, add trim paths, and I'm going to go to stroke first, and I'm going to add a dash, and I'm going to make it a little bit smaller. Now I'm going to go to trim paths, open this, and where it says end. So for example, in the 4-second mark, I'm going to end it. And if I zoom in a little bit before, I'm going to drag this to 0. So if I press play right here, perfect. Now I'm going to select these two and press F9 to easy ease. So I'm going to duplicate it, click on fill, click on white, eliminate the stroke, and obviously eliminate the trim paths. I'm going to press T for opacity, and I'm going to click over here on the time watch, turn it to 0, and as soon as it's complete, I'm going to turn it to 100. If we go back to our base image, and if we take a look at this animation and press play, that is a good first step, but maybe I don't want it in 100% white. Maybe I want it around 60. So if I press play right here, that's more like it. I'm going to do the same thing with another layer, which is going to be this this river that goes on over here, which is a little bit long, so I'm just going to speed this up. And I'm going to select the river right here. Okay, so now I have this river right here. If you want, you could turn this, line into a bluish line, perhaps more or less like this. And again, go over here where it says contents, add trim paths, and where you want it to end. So for example, we did this right here, and I want it to end right here. So I'm going to click on end, click on the timepiece, and drag it down. And over here, I want it to start. So I'm going to drag it now. So there we have our second line. If we go to our base animation, we can see how it just lights up, turns on, then the river turns on, the other one turns off.
So if you are interested in learning more about After Effects, about animation, and you want to incorporate animation into your architecture graphics, I recommend the Introduction to Adobe After Effects, Getting Started with Motion Graphics by Evan Abrams, only in Skillshare. So if you guys want to check out that class, it's very, very, very interesting. I really suggest you do it. So Skillshare is an online learning community with thousands of classes covering dozens of creative and entrepreneurial skills. Premium membership gives you unlimited access, so you can join the classes and communities that are just right for you. Whether you want to fuel your curiosity, creativity, or even career, Skillshare is the perfect place to keep you learning and thriving. Skillshare is also incredibly affordable, especially when compared to pricey in-person classes and workshops. An annual subscription is less than $10 a month. Because Skillshare is sponsoring this video, you can sign up with the link in the description and get a 2-month free trial.
So after we have this right here, we are going to go to the Photoshop file that we have imported, and we're going to copy our background image, and we're going to copy our grid image, and we're going to paste them in our other After Effects composition. After we have done this, I just animated the background grid. You can go to Effects and search for Auto Scroll Vertical, and it will automatically move your grid. After this, we want to create a mask. So this mask is to give it a little bit more depth and a little bit more feeling of 3D to the image. So by standing on my layer, on my composition layer, and on my base image layer, I'm going to select the pen tool and start selecting just like we would do in Photoshop around the borders of our image, and I'm going to maybe make it a little bit imperfect, so it's gonna have this look of the 3D. And we're gonna close it right here. Now, one of the things I'm gonna do here at the beginning is I'm gonna scale this. Click on S for scale, and here I'm gonna click on the timepiece. Now I'm going to click back and click on 0. So it's just going to appear just like this, but it's maybe appearing a little bit too slow. So maybe I'm going to make it appear much faster by dragging this over here. One awesome trick we could also reveal is a plane. So because this is an airport thingy, so we import our plane, and what we have to do is add a drop shadow effect to it. This is just like Photoshop, so you right click and go to effect styles or layer styles and have a drop shadow. Now we're going to time frame our position. So when you click P on your keyboard, your position is going to appear. You're going to click on the time watch, and you're going to select the 20-second mark and move the airplane to where you want it to land. Then select the 0-second mark and move the airplane back. So this is going to form the trajectory of your airplane. Now we can just add the text. Right here would be for the first one. So I'm gonna press Control T, and now I want this airport area to appear as soon as this appears. So I'm gonna select both of these, press on T for opacity, click on top, and just a little bit back, I'm going to click on 0. Now I'm going to press on P for position, and when it's in 100 I want it to be there, so I'm going to click on position. But when it's in 0 I want it to be down here. So if I press on play, and this process we're going to repeat it for all the text that we need. And I repeated it various times. And also the process of creating a line, animating the line, creating a layer of analysis, animating that layer is more or less the same. So I don't want to waste your time and let you know that. So I don't want to waste your time. If you want to see the whole, every complete detail, then you can watch it in our Patreon page. But what is important here is that you animate everything according to in a very perfect timing, right? So it's maybe about 20 seconds or 30 seconds that you have for each slide. And the important thing is that you put relevant information in that slide. So if you're going to put the natural conditions of the place, then have 30 seconds to explain the natural conditions. Then if you're going to put the areas of your site, then just have again 30 seconds for another slide. And that is how you're going to also structure your presentation. So so the basic animation techniques are there, right? So you just put position, you put the start, and you put the finish, and that is how you animate a line or an airplane or whatever. Now, if you want to animate text, just how I told you. So this is just going to help you structure your presentation and make it be much more effective and clear when you are presenting your project, if it's in a university or if it's in your office. Now, after we have all of this done, after you guys create all of your animation, what you can do is you go back to Premiere Pro. Remember that we had our base file there, and what we're going to do is we're just going to press Control, and you can add music if you want. You can add some background music to make it much more interesting. But if not, then that is perfect. Then you press Control M on your keyboard and you export. You select where you want to export the image, and you export it. There's nothing too complicated about that.
So what did you guys think? I really like this video. I really like the process. I'm trying to animate much more things, and I think it makes our presentation look much cooler. If you want to see much more on animation, then comment down below. If you want to see any other subject, comment down below. Let's talk. Let's see, what video you would like to see. And I hope you guys are really safe at home. I know for my part, I live in Colombia. It's in South America, and we can't go outside. We can't go outside for now unless it's to buy groceries or just to do the basic things. I know it's a difficult time for us to be at home, and I want to bring you the more value possible while you guys are at home. And I hope that this can keep on helping your university projects, your office projects, etc., etc., etc. And yeah,